understanding that Juneteenth actually celebrates the end of slavery itself.
Absolutely.
Which is technically partially untrue.
Yes.
The Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, but it wasn't until 1865, 2 years later, when a Union general by the name of Gordon Granger had to ride down to Galveston, Texas,
Wow.
to inform the slaves on the plantation there that they had actually been liberated.
Oh my
So it wasn't
gosh.
until actually 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation that the last of the enslaved Africans in America were officially free.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Juneteenth is a celebration of not only black perseverance, not only black strength, not only black freedom, but it's a celebration of everything that we are as a people, everything that we have
Absolutely.
accomplished as a people, and everything that we will accomplish going forward. So again, happy
Absolutely.
Juneteenth to everybody who is accustomed to celebrating this amazing holiday. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with the holiday, we encourage you to educate yourselves. Aside from advocacy and donating to black organizations, buying from black businesses,
Yes.
supporting the upbringers of black youth and all of the programs that we have throughout the city, throughout the country,
Yes.
that contribute to these causes that create equity, that create better opportunities and avenues for people who have been disenfranchised for generations, to
Yep.
finally achieve some equity, finally achieve some harmony with the American dream that has been preached for so long throughout the existence of this country, but actually rarely lived up to for certain communities.
Absolutely.
And so we definitely want
Wow.
to highlight, these organizations, and one such organization that's contributing to, the balancing out of the scale is
CEO.
CEO, who
Yes,
will
it-
be highlighting today. And if you're wondering how we connect CEO with, black liberation, all of these things, we know that today there is still a form of slavery, which
Yes,
is
it
called
is.
mass incarceration. And
Black
you can
people
do
are
your
incarcerated.
research on that as far as understanding how the legacy of slavery led up to Jim Crow, which led up to today's present day mass incarceration system, where you have disenfranchised youth, being exposed to different experiences within their community that limit their resources,
Yes, it
that
does.
lead them down paths that eventually lead to them being in prison. And while they're in prison, they're, exposed to a cycle that
Keeps happening.
yeah,
Keeps
it
happening.
basically contributes to them being able to continue to be a part of this cycle, because when they come out of prison, they're not really exposed to having many resources after the fact. There
Yep.
aren't really not enough efforts that are being devoted to
given a
reentry.
fair
And
chance.
so
Yes.
So we're really excited about the work that CEO is doing,
Absolutely.
the Center for Employment Opportunities, as
Absolutely.
far as reentry after people are released from prison, to help them reintegrate into society and actually lead productive lives. And Ebony, I know we're
Absolutely.
going to be talking a bit more
Yes.
about that.
Yes, we definitely are. CEOworks.org. Again, reentry. I think they're across 12 states at this point. And of
Yeah.
course, the panel is coming up a little bit later with John. They're going to get further into it. But yeah, just a few facts about it. They have been working 12 states, I think 31 cities. They've helped 54,000, I believe, reentry participants to get back out into society. And as Mr. Benjamin Early has told us, the information he's given, that's another thing about our summits here today. Today we had a Black History lesson. Like, we're always bringing something. Mr. Benjamin Early, Westside Future Fund. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. But we're going to definitely focus on the work that CEO is doing, and it is awesome. Reentry. So yeah, just stay tuned. We got a good panel coming up for you a little bit later.
And speaking of which, we're going to have our big man on campus, John,
Yes, Mr.
anchoring
John.
that conversation later today. I know we haven't been seeing as much of him lately at the summit.
So happy to have him back.
We're happy to have you back, John. We
force.
can't wait to have you. Can't wait to have you lead that conversation. But Ebony, I know we want to get into like the bulletin and all of that information
Yes.
that we got for folks now. So why don't you go ahead.
Definitely. So I'm not sure, are we going to, yes, sorry about that. Again, 28th Virtual Transform Westside Summit. So the vision statement and the mission statement for Westside Future Fund is to build a community that Dr. King would be proud of. And we're continuously working on that here on the West Side. And also our next slide, this is our 2021 Board of Directors. Awesome team working behind the scenes, holding up Westside Future Fund. And our dedicated team working directly for Westside Future Fund is there on the slide as well. Juneteenth celebration, Juneteenth. Also, we want to invite you all to make sure you do go on our website and sign up by 8:15 to enter a drawing to win a Home Depot gift card and a Goodwill of North Georgia gift card. So go to our homepage, westsidefuturefund.org, click on our events, RSVP, and go ahead and put your information in there.
Absolutely, and I know we got used to doing our Ollie Fit mind and body segments to begin the summits, but today we're gonna switch it up actually. I had the opportunity of shadowing one of Westside Volunteer Corp's usual regular volunteers as they went about the Thursday food delivery. So every Thursday, since the beginning of COVID for the most part, Westside Future Fund has been delivering free fresh groceries in partnership with Atlanta Community Food Bank and a bunch of other partners to offer free groceries to people within our multifamily and single family neighborhood residences. These are people who, you know, honestly need help filling in the gap between, you know, nutritional needs and what they actually have. And Westside Volunteer Corps has been filling in that gap along with Westside Future Fund's partners. So enjoy this package. I got to follow Mr. Fernando Guerrero around with his you know, Prius, which is, his Prius is legendary at Westside Volunteer Corps, just so you know. And you'll get a good view of it in this package, so enjoy this package. What you got going today, Fernando?
We just about to hit these multi-family apartment complexes to deliver some groceries. I can kind of help direct people. It's not super intuitive, like there's a unit. So give the door a little knock, you know, just drop the bags, give it a little knock, you can, that's it, and then I just appreciate the opportunity to give back. You know, it's important to me to feel like I'm doing something to contribute to the community that I call home. And to give back to people in need. So I'm grateful for Westside Future Fund for providing the opportunity. It goes fast when you got six people delivering. Now, I grew up on the east side of Atlanta and know that like the back of my hand, but I didn't, you know, hadn't spent much time or knew much, so I've really appreciated the opportunity also to get to know, you know, this area that much better, and it's been fun so far. Yeah, these 6 stores back here, the ones that they're...
So what are some of the things that you look to do outside of, like, you know, work in your profession? Like, what are some of your personal aspirations for yourself?
Well, this type of thing too. I was formerly working for Soccer in the Streets because of its mission and because I wanted my, you know, even my quote-unquote 9-to-5 or my career, you know, to be mission-oriented. Now I'm working in the for-profit space and in you know, a different sort of field, so I don't get that as much in my day-to-day anymore. So I'm trying to find always trying to find opportunities like this to give back and to support. As I mentioned also, it's just fun for me too, you know, so I really, just in my personal life, really stay active. I love playing sports, I love hiking, I love just being outside and walking, so it's cool to be able to, you know, match those together with volunteering as well. And you know, again, just personally, I'm, you know, looking to start a family and, you know, build my career, that type of thing. Go back to school, actually. I've been studying to apply for business school. So I've got some stuff, you know, hopefully once the pandemic starts to improve a little bit too, you know, get back to traveling and such, which is a big thing of mine, and just spending time with families, that type of thing. So yeah, feeling great. It was awesome to get myself out of bed early, be able to do something. Now I got the whole day ahead of me to enjoy, but it's nice to be back, and I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to having you again whenever you got the time. Thanks for making the time today, brother. Catch you later, bro.
No problem.
That is so awesome. That's so awesome. You know, they started this program during the pandemic. And I'm actually, I don't know if a lot of people know it, but I'm here working with Westside Future Fund now. But I started out and still am a client of Westside Future Fund. So I was one of the participants that would come home from work on Thursday and it'd just be this huge box of fresh fruit and vegetables and all kind of pantry items. And I mean, it was just so welcome, especially during the pandemic. You couldn't even go to the grocery store, think about it.
Right.
At sometimes. So it's very, very nice to have that, and I can vouch for that program. It is awesome. Thank you. Thank you to our volunteers.
You heard it here first, folks. And look, it's time for us to get connected. We are on social, and we want you to engage with us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. Make sure that you go ahead and follow our channels, subscribe to our channels, like, comment, and share our information, because we have incredible information that's being shared here at these summits. And the only way that it's of use to anybody is if people know about it.
Absolutely.
So help us spread the word, help us, share this information with folks within our community so that we can contribute to have the impact that we want to have on Westside residents. And with that being said, I know it's about time for us to get into our devotion. So we like to start our devotion with a devotional statement, which reads, "It has become our tradition to begin our meetings with a positive inspirational message from a member of our community. Recognizing that many in our community are driven by their spiritual faith to participate in the Westside revitalization effort, the time at the beginning of our meetings is an opportunity to share various inspirational reflections. While speakers may articulate their personal faith, it's meant to be inclusive, inspiring, and meaningful, with the story of Nehemiah as our guide." And today's devotional speaker is Mr. Antoine Magnum, Business Account Manager at CEO. Enjoy his message.
Good morning. I want to talk to you briefly about the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a cupbearer for the king who ended up doing great work for his country. Nehemiah he was led by God to rebuild the wall. And he was able to get the people of Jerusalem to come together and help him build the wall. Nehemiah was opposed by his friends. They wanted him to stop his work. They asked him several times to come down from the wall. And his reply was, "I must not come down, the work must be done." In other words, whatever you do in life, do not be distracted in your goals. Nehemiah had set goals. He wanted to rebuild the city. He was able to encourage the people, to inspire the people, and to get the people to come together to rebuild Jerusalem and rebuild the wall. Is there someone in your life that you can influence? You can influence people in their lives by your integrity, your leadership, your truthfulness, and your love. Nehemiah 4:6 says, "So we built the wall, and all the wall was joined together to the half of the height, for the people had a mind to work." As people working together, we can rebuild lives, our country, the walls, and people in the society.
Well, Mr. Magnum, thank you so much for that inspirational message. We hope everybody listening at home and, in the ethos of the internet, were able to take something valuable away from that. Again, the story of Nehemiah is the story of the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem. And, here on the Westside Future Fund is looking to be that, it's looking to play that type of role where we're helping to rebuild the historic Westside community through investing in, the nonprofits, the buildings, not buildings, the businesses, the residents of the community, to uplift them, to empower them, to be able to not just, remain in the neighborhoods, but to also be able to take advantage of the increase in changes that they see happening in and around the neighborhoods. So with that being said, we got Mr. John Nauman here on set, who's going to be anchoring our panel discussion today. Mr. John, how you doing this morning, brother?
Doing good, man. Thank you. Great opening by you and Ebony, man. Thank you very much, and I appreciate very much you're talking about the history of Juneteenth Day. It was great to to see an area where it seems so much gets locked up in Washington with a partnership that the support for this federal holiday passed out nearly unanimously out of the House and Senate and made it to the president's desk for signature. So that was awesome. So thank you for celebrating that today. And as they did in the show opening, we got a great panel this morning, the Center for Employment Opportunities. And I also want to, as I kind of begin the panel discussion, I want to say thanks to Ganthy Simon with the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation. One of the big initiatives of the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation has been supporting Westside Works in Vine City. It's basically at the corner of Brawley and Boone. And thanks to the support of the Blank Family Foundation working with Quest, they've developed 2 buildings, and in those buildings are various not-for-profits providing job training. And one of those is now going to be, thanks to the support of the Blank Family Foundation, the Center for Employment Opportunities. We want to learn more about them now that they're going to be coming into the West Side in our program this morning. So I think I'm going to bring, they're all coming in virtual, so Yeah, all right, they're all here. So this is actually the first time I've met y'all. So thank you for being with us this morning. It's always kind of, interesting to meet people via a TV screen. So thank you for being here with us this morning.
Thank you. It's good to meet you.
And I know we had to get you up early to get plugged in to get ready for our show. So thank you for doing that as well. And we're going to show a video in just a couple of minutes to give folks background on Center for Employment Opportunities. But I thought just to start, ask each of you, to just do a self-introduction so folks know who you are and just tell a little bit about yourselves. And so maybe we could just start with each of you taking 30 seconds, talk a little about yourself and your role, and we can, whoever wants to start first.
I'll get us started. My name is Patience Lewis Walker. I am the Deputy Executive Director for Center for Employment Opportunities, or CEO's Southern, Mid-Atlantic, and Mountain Plain regions. And so I just provide support and oversight for our offices across those states and those regions. Adrena?
My name is Adrena Jackson. I am the Regional Director for our Southern region, which encompasses our Atlanta office, our Memphis office, our New Orleans office, and our Charlotte office. I also provide support and oversight to all of those locations.
And good morning. My name is Michael Taylor. I am the site director here in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathy Anderson. I am the retention specialist for CEO Memphis. I became a part of CEO in 2019 as a participant. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And I also want to, give a shout out because I was looking at notes on y'all's bio. Is it Patience? You're a graduate of Spelman College.
I am.
All right. Well, our board chair, Dr. Beverly Tatum, is the past president of Spelman College. And I think also we've got a Morehouse graduate in the house too, right? Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's class of 2014.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And then we thought we'd give our viewers a little bit of background about your great organization. We're gonna cut to our first video, and then when we come out of that video, we'll have some Q&A.
Hi, I'm Mindy Tarlow, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director for the Center for Employment Opportunities, or CEO. Most people know what it's like to look for a job when you don't have one. But imagine being a young person in that same situation, and you're also just coming home from prison, with no work history, little to no education, limited connection to the community, and facing the prospect of explaining a criminal conviction to an employer. This young person wants to work and needs to work, but is feeling genuinely scared and confused. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? I don't know what to do. For people like this and thousands of others, CEO offers a lifeline by providing immediate, paid transitional employment and placement services that lead to full-time jobs. We believe that anyone with a recent criminal conviction who wants to work should have the preparation and support needed to find a job and stay connected to the labor force. At CEO, that same scared and confused young person is now immediately building an employment track record, putting much-needed earnings in their pockets, and developing basic work skills they can use when they interview for a job. The playing field becomes a little more level. CEO's proven employment model creates a path to self-sufficiency for formerly incarcerated people that helps break the cycle of incarceration, reducing recidivism, creating stable, productive individuals, families, and communities. Incarceration affects all of us, not just the person released, but many others, including over 7 million children who'd have a parent involved in the criminal justice system. CEO builds skills and confidence to successfully transition people to a positive future. CEO offers a change that works for everyone. Join us and become part of the solution. Thank you.
Well, that's a great video, powerful video, and it's really exciting that y'all will be working on the west side of Atlanta. I've been working with the Westside Future Fund now a little over 5 years, and one of the more challenging things that I've experienced, is exciting to see, is folks coming out of incarceration who've done their time, maybe made some early mistakes, and getting good gainful employment is such a challenge. So that kind of work y'all be bringing, I think, is so much needed. But I was just curious, maybe the first question would be for you, Patience, is given this is something really, hard to do, I think, for a variety of reasons, what do you think really because from your video, y'all have had great success. What's y'all's kind of secret sauce of success?
Oh, is there a secret sauce? Well, yes, I think, so CEO started, as a demonstration project with the Beer Institute back in the 70s. And so, really have a track record of having an opportunity to learn and grow and to continue to develop and refine our model. So I would say, if there are ingredients to a secret sauce, it's really, just that time of, refining the model, and then the people, making really good hires, having a team that's passionate about the work, that's passionate about, serving this population, and then that's also, has, a strong skill set and the ability to just really get things done. So I think that's probably a huge part of that. So it's, technically, the history and being able to really impact or show an impact of the work, refining that model, and then just like creating really good, strong teams to carry out that work.
Awesome. And how many cities are y'all in right now?
So Atlanta will be our 31st city. So we're serving, all across the United States.
Wow.
And we're in 12 states, including Georgia.
And so Atlanta, as your 31th city, you'll be starting in the West Side in Atlanta. And so when will y'all formally begin your work in Atlanta?
Yeah, Michael, you want to talk about, our launch in Atlanta?
Yes, so we will actually have our first Pathway to Employment class after the July 4th holiday, starting on July 6th. But I also would just like to take a little time and tell you about our overall program model. And I first would like to say that outreach is an important part of what we do. So that's why it's big that we are making use of platforms like this. So I really appreciate you having us on this morning. But first is our recruitment and enrollment. We work with partners like the Department of Community Supervision, DeKalb, WorkSource DeKalb, Westside Works, and many others to actually feed participants into our program. And a little bit about our criteria is the individual has to be 18 years or older, just as involved, and or currently on some form of community supervision, i.e. probation or parole. And from there, they have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, as well as able to complete manual labor. And I would also like to add that we accept all participants, regardless of the conviction or the offense that they may have committed. And then second is our orientation and our pathway to employment, John, which is a really good opportunity for our participants to receive some life skill education, as well as some work readiness training. They also would learn about what we expect of them as participants as a CEO, as well as the work that they'll be doing. So this first couple of crews that we'll be launching will actually be very unique. They'll be doing some construction work. We're working with a partner by the name of Mods, in which they will be working on some shipping containers to turn them into commercial and residential spaces. But before, they have to complete this 4-day training, in which we have to see commitment as well as their buy-in. But at the end of that training, there's a graduation. We give them all the materials that they need, and they go right to work. So a big piece of what we do is providing immediate, effective, and comprehensive employment. So it's important that we get them right to work. And the third component of our program is our transitional employment. So, John, we pay our participants same day. We get them to and from work. So I want to make sure that I note that because that's a huge component of our program. But on top of that, each of these crews are headed by a site supervisor. And this site supervisor is coaching our participants and giving them real-time feedback on how to make better participants and better overall employees. And this is part-time work, John. So while some days they're working, then others they're actually coming into the office in which they're working with the job coach, receiving coaching around their personal barriers and whatever they need to become more job start ready. And from there, they're also working with a business accounts manager whose goal is to help them obtain full-time employment. And once they do reach full-time employment, we then will start to offer retention services as well as follow-up services. And throughout their whole time, not only are we engaging our participants, but we're also offering them incentives and different things like that to stay employed. And I also would like to end by saying if they ever lose their job, we want them to feel completely comfortable coming back to CEO. We have a saying, one CEO, always CEO, because we want them to know that they're going to get a second chance with us. So there's no reason to recidivate or to result to any thing that will get them in trouble because they can come right back to us and we'll put them right back to work.
So, that's amazing. So if folks are watching this morning and either themselves or know someone they want to refer to your program that you're going to be launching, what should they do next?
Yeah, so we actually have a general email that we use for the Atlanta office. It's referralsatlanta@ceoworks.org. And I'm sure we'll make that information available later in the presentation. But again, if anyone reaches out to that email, my entire team will get a notification and we'll work diligently, most of the time within 24 to 48 hours to make contact with that individual and get them enrolled into our program.
Yeah, and that's great. And you went through just a minute ago, but to back up a little bit, so when folks come in, you do the soft skill training?
Yes.
Part of the program?
Yes, we believe that, the technical skills you can teach anyone, but our work is based on our core principles, which are cooperating with your coworkers, cooperating with your supervisors, on time, your presentation, which includes your communication, how you dress, and then lastly, your work effort. Everything that we do is going to relate back to those core principles. And I would also like to add that you have to be referred to the program. And oftentimes that referral will come from a probation or parole officer and or a community coordinator that's working directly with the Department of Community Supervision. But I also want to say that if you just want to come into our office at 938 Peachtree, we'll do whatever we need to do to capture the information that we need to get you enrolled into the program.
And it sounds like I heard as part of that, so you did the soft skill training. You said a few days of getting ready, but then you put people to work pretty quick. I think if I remember, I think you said 4 days after 4 days.
Yes. After that 4 days pathway to employment training, they'll be at work. So that Friday we'll have a graduation. They'll get to rest over the weekend, and that Monday morning we'll be transporting to work.
So it sounds like within about 2 weeks of starting your program, people can be going to work.
Sometimes less than that.
That's all. And then I also heard, which sounds great, you get people to the job site, and then I think I also heard, which I know is important for folks, is you pay them that day for the work.
Yes. So if they just make it to our headquarters, which is conveniently located 2 blocks away from the Midtown MARTA station here in Atlanta, if they can get to us, we will take them to and from work every day. So it's important that we pick a location that's along the public transportation because we understand everybody may not have transportation in the form of a vehicle. But if they're willing to get on the bus or take a train and get to us, we'll make sure they get there and get there safely.
And then, one more question, and I know we have another video to give more background we'll go to, but how do y'all find the employers? Because you mentioned an employer you've already partnering with, I think you said on container construction. So how do you find the employers that you partner with?
Yes, Adrena, Patience, do y'all want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I'll jump in here. We have a business account manager whom actually did our devotion this morning
Yes.
for us. And what they do is actually go out and they network within the community, and they tell the employers in the community about our program, and really find out the skill sets that employers are looking for and the needs that they have. We then in turn can tell employers about our participants and the skill sets that they have. Since they do work every day for us, we can operate from a standpoint that we are the employer of record, and we're teaching them those basic skills that they need to be successful on the job. In addition to what Michael has already shared about them getting paid every day and the site supervisors training them, they're also going into the office every week and they're meeting with our job coach, and they're getting that reinforcement from our job coach, preparing them to overcome any barriers that they may have. As our BAM is also in the community, making those employer connections and then making the perfect match between the participant and the employer.
And so folks are watching this morning who are employers that they're hearing about you coming into Atlanta and want to partner with you. I assume you kind of welcome hearing from folks they're ready to partner and help hire people to come out of your program.
Definitely. Our participants are trained, like we said, internally, but we also provide some other training that they're interested in. And CEO has an economic development department, and we partner with organizations and agencies that can prepare them and give them additional training for the transitional crew that we're working currently. We're getting ready to work with mods. They're going to be doing welding and general construction, so they'll have an expanded skill set that can add to the career pathway that they need. So employers that have specific needs, they feel free to reach out to us, and we can discuss and make that match for them as we continue to grow.
Well, that's awesome, and we're going to learn more about your program through another video that y'all have done.
Yes.
So we'll cut to that video. It's about a little less than 4 minutes, and we'll come back to our panel discussion.
Growing up, I did a lot of crazy things. I would try to fit in. I'm sitting in prison and I'm like, man. When I get home, I can't live this life no more, man. I can't go around robbing people no more.
So here's a young man exiting prison, feeling genuinely scared. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? I don't have a resume. It's pretty easy to say what CEO is. We do one thing with one group of people. We get jobs for people with criminal histories.
What CEO tries to do is work with those clients to get them back employed. They become tax-paying citizens, and there is a ripple effect when you help people get jobs.
The first step of CEO is life skills education. It's a one-week class in which we go over basic work behaviors that are going to ensure individual success in the private sector job market.
I want them to be self-sufficient, respectful, intelligent human beings, so therefore they represent themselves exceedingly well on an interview for a job.
The second step is transitional work. Within 1 week of coming to CEO, every participant is guaranteed a job working for CEO on one of our transitional job sites.
If you come to one of my work crews, you'll see guys working every day in all 5 boroughs, day and night, and it's real work that helps them find real jobs.
The third step is job coaching and job development. 1 day a week, they're meeting with a job coach, and those who are prepared are meeting with a job developer who are helping market them to full-time private sector employers. The fourth step of CEO is retention services. CEO has a dedicated team of retention specialists whose entire job is to help people keep their job and move up in the job market.
That same person now is interviewing for that same entry-level job, but guess what? He already has a job. He has a resume. He has a track record. Now, that playing field's just a little bit more level with everyone else.
CEO is, in effect, my work history. It makes my work life a lot easier. So it's a win-win all the way around. I get better employees. They get opportunity. Everybody goes away happy.
Because either these folks are going to wind up back in jail, or you and me, we're going to be paying in our taxes to sustain them. So why not give people a chance?
To the people at CEO, I love them. Because if it wasn't for them, I'll probably be back in prison right now. I've been on a job interview. He asked me, about myself, my life, work experience, conviction. And thanks to CEO, I was able to answer that question. And he was like, Scott, got the job.
CEO was founded in New York City, but we've proven effective in reducing recidivism, and we've proven effective in scaling our operation around the country. There's so much need for people coming home from prison who need jobs, and there's so much possibility for CEO to continue to grow.
We're one of the only organizations in the country to help folks at their most vulnerable time, but also at their most motivated time, to change their thinking, to change their behaviors in ways that have a lasting impact on them, on their families, their communities, our families, and our communities. That's what CEO is all about.
Another great video. Y'all have so many great results. And I saw in that video the role of the retention coach. And I think, Cassie, maybe you could talk a little bit about how y'all, because I think that's your role with CEO, working on keeping people in the program, and how you support them as a retention coach.
Yes, what I do is I make sure participants stay connected to the program by following up with them 2 to 3 times a month, to note any changes with them, such as the job change, if the job don't work out for them, the address change. I also oversee incentive payments being processed to them each month on their pay card, which CEO provides for them. And yeah.
Great, thank you. And what have y'all found in terms of, keeping people in the program is some of the biggest challenges so people don't drop out? Like, what have y'all, I guess whoever feels like they want to answer that, but once people enroll, because I heard you've got a great success of people not dropping out, but the challenges people encounter, and how y'all keep people enrolled in your program.
So we found that when participants and individuals are released from incarceration, that they face many barriers. One being transportation, one being lack of resources, fear, behavior issues, child support, lack of child care, and just lack of a support system where they can really feel like they belong and have their support to get them on that journey. One thing that CEO does well, in addition to the transitional work and making sure that they're paid like immediately after they transition from being incarcerated, is that we support them and we provide them with solutions to those barriers that they are facing. We not only partner with agencies that can provide resources that we don't have, such as housing and transportation, utility assistance, mental substance abuse, but we also walk alongside them while they're making that journey. And we don't just make a referral, we do a warm handoff, and we continue to engage with them weekly. And I think it's the relationship piece that we build while participants are in our program that helps to retain them for the long run. So we really, in our theory of change, it goes along with our mission and our vision. And we feel like if we can effectively prepare them for employment and give them support and give them a chance to not only get a job, but to start a career path and to keep them engaged in that process, then that does cut down on recidivism. It does make them feel more a part of a community, because not only are they providing for themselves, but they're providing for their families, they're providing for their community, and they're a part of their community, and they're actively giving back. So we develop a relationship that is more like a family unit at each site. So participants feel not only supported, but they feel engaged, and they know that we're there for them.
Great. So then once people are in your program, as they encounter different challenges, you help people up with the right resources and stay engaged with them. Do you also continue to bring people together in your program, like in groups, something other, just to build camaraderie, talk about the barriers everyone's facing, keep everyone kind of moving together as part of the program?
Yes, so we during the pandemic we did do more of a cohort model, but generally as participants are coming in into one P2E class, as Michael had mentioned earlier, they're coming in as one team, right? So the first Atlanta class will develop a relationship and build a rapport with one another because they're the very first class that we're having. So those individuals will build a relationship with one another and with the staff. But we also have advisory boards on at each site that can be prepared. That are made up of not just outside constituents like employers or individuals from our individual stakeholders, but participant advisory boards where participants have a voice. We have what we call constituent boards where participants can engage and let us know their thoughts and their feelings and what concerns them and give us feedback. They can do that anonymously so they don't feel threatened, and then we're able to address those issues and really answer and make participants' voices heard.
Great, and go ahead.
Oh, sorry, John. I'll just add, as you are talking about kind of that peer um, connection and engagement, and in that group setting, one of the things that I think over time CEO has learned is that when it comes to our young adult population and really looking for ways to better engage them, we did a pilot program called CMI, it's the Credible Messenger Initiative, that is really peer led. And so what you have is our young adult population with someone who has been just as involved, that really convenes, this group of individuals, gives them a space to talk, to share, to build that camaraderie, to help support each other. Even though we're not in a cohort model, this kind of is a team or a kind of a grouping within, our organization to just really provide that support that we know, right, young adults often need more of. And so having someone who's relatable, who has that shared lived experience, who, also can, be a mentor and a coach, but also provide that peer support. And that's a part of, an initiative that will be CEO just piloted in some of our offices, found that the impact for retention for that population, for those that participated in that initiative, really increased. And, we're looking to also establish that program in our Atlanta office. And so when you think about, what that engagement looks like in a group setting, really that is, a new program to CEO, but one that, after piloting shows worked, and we're really excited to bring that to Atlanta.
Yeah, thank you. And maybe a little bit more about Atlanta. So y'all be launching, you said after the 4th of July is when you're going to start your first 2 classes?
Yeah.
And you'll be doing the 2 classes out of the Westside Works? Is that where you will be holding the classes?
Oh, Patience, you want to take it? Or?
Oh, no. So our classes will be held at the 938 Peachtree location.
Okay.
We will have some services and supports that we will satellite from the Westside Works office. And so there will be opportunities for the Westside community to connect with our staff and our team there on site at Westside Works for sure. But just with COVID restrictions and the size of our classes and things of that nature, just for capacity, we won't be able to host those classes there yet, but definitely can make those connections and, come into the community. We'll be in the community working.
But your classes are real close by, but you'll be,
yes.
you'll be working out of the Westside Works office. So if folks want to come learn about the program, get enrolled in the program, they can walk into that Westside Works office and do that.
Yes, there'll be information at the Westside Works office and, someone there that can help support.
All right, awesome. And I think we have, one more video we want to show, and I know this was one around some of the more testimonies of folks that have been participants in your program. So we'll cut to that video and then come back for, a final check-in.
My name is Kenneth Sexton, and this is my story.
My name is Will Melendez, and this is my story.
My name is Patricia, and my story is about going to school while I was incarcerated. When I was a little girl, I never went to school, so I didn't even know how to begin to study.
I knew I was coming home. I knew that I did not have a home to go to or an establishment, a place to go to. I just kept being so worried in my mind, you know.
I was on my way to an interview and we get pulled over. They were messing up my chance of maybe getting a job. But obviously they didn't care, and then all they said was, well, at least we let you go.
Just because I'm here doesn't mean that I'm lost. The same sun shines in prison as outside these walls. So I passed my GED. I pushed myself to enroll in college.
A distant cousin of mine opened his doors to me. He said, "Hey man, I heard there was a cousin that needs a home."
Something inside me shifted when I got my degree. It was not about the degree itself. It was about who I am and my accomplishments.
I don't know what would be transpiring right now had, opened that door, because that was my last 5 days right there. It was a wrap,
You know, we already pay our debt to society. We did our time. There's a lot of us that want to succeed.
The Center for Employment Opportunities is the largest national reentry employer, and we provide employment services to people on probation or parole supervision, and we employ about 8,000 people every single year. At CEO, we have been on an incredible journey of collecting feedback and also listening. We had the opportunity to be one of the first grantees from the Fund for Shared Insight. And over time, we have really evolved our model and our practice. For the Participant Advocate Council, or the PAC, we have really used our constituent voice or our feedback practices, gathering and soliciting feedback from our PAC members. But most recently, we embarked on a storytelling journey. And it's been a wonderful and dynamic experience to take which was once used for shame and use it in a very transformational way and gain power while telling their story.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and welcome to week 10 of the PAC. So let's get right to it. To me, the PAC is just where voices can be amplified. It's a place where everybody can go and be heard, feel safe, share, ask questions, and not a place of judgment.
In each story, there comes understanding if you're willing to hear it, if you're willing to listen. When you know that the person you're talking with is able to hear you and able to see you and know your past and accept you for who you are today and not yesterday, much more powerful, much more embracing.
I think sharing my story with the cohort has helped me open up, not just with them, but open up as I walk out and into the community, feel more confident in my skin. For a long time, I was very withdrawn and ashamed, but I had to take that away and start working and say, hey, I can change my point of view of this. And deep inside, I'm like, I'm proud of myself because I came out a better person.
I decided to do it because it's out of my comfort zone, and I know that that was gonna help me to grow. And by telling our stories, I think we can help people from CEO to understand us, what we've been through, how they can help us even more.
If there's one lesson that was taught at the PAC and the storytelling, was that their voice is the most powerful thing that they have and that it matters. And so it should matter to CEO and it should matter to the community and society at large.
I feel like some of the conversations have informed our policy agenda, have informed ways that we should be advocating for change. For example, our Participant Advocate Council in New York is really focused in on parole reform right now. We used our constituent voice tool to reach out to almost 500 people to learn if they had a story that they wanted to share about parole. And also, I am really proud to share that we have 2 former CEO participants that now sit on our board of directors because they know what it's like to meet with a job coach, to provide feedback, to work on a work crew, to participate in opportunities like the Participant Advocate Council. And then they are able to take their personal lived experiences and inform the strategic direction of our organization. I look forward to taking the Participant Advocate Council to different regions throughout the United States because I feel like it is a dynamic and transformative opportunity for people like me with a criminal conviction to find our voice, to make a social impact, and to change the narrative.
My name is Patricia, and this is my story.
My name is Will Melendez, and this is my story.
My name is Kenneth, and this is my story.
Another great video. Thank you. And now for this last part of our program, CEO panelists, we wanted to go to our live audience. And so we'd like to ask people in our live audience if they have some questions they'd like answered, to go ahead and type it into our social media feed, whatever you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. So if you have some questions you'd like to ask our panelists before we wind up our program, we got Benjamin over here to my right, ready to read the question, right? Benjamin, you're with me, checking out for the questions.
I'm always with you, lockstep.
All right.
Yeah, so we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We got a few folks tuning in right now. We're gonna have them up on the wall. I'll say. Well, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we've got people tuning in right now. A lot of people showing love for the work that CEO is doing. A few of our people watching, Miss Joan Vernon of Westside says, hello, CEO, what a great cause to support. We've got Mr. Tillman Ward tuning in on YouTube, also showing some love. Plenty of people. So if you've got a question, go ahead and put it in the comment section so we can get it to our panelists. And right now, I'm gonna pull up the Facebook feed because we have a few questions on Facebook I know that we wanted to get to. And I have Miss Mamie Moore. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Miss Valerie Williams. Thank you. And so we have one question. What is the most impactful experience that you guys have had as members of CEO, as employees of CEO in working with people who are in the southern states, basically? I'm just going to summarize what they say. People who are working in the southern states, what has been your most impactful experience as far as working with people who have, happened to go back into crime after you have worked with them?
I'll take that question. For me, it's a little different because we haven't gotten things off the ground. But overall, for me, it's about having the opportunity to fulfill my personal mission. I honestly feel like I was created to help others. And in working for CEO, I'm able to do that every day. Coming into work and help people is so fulfilling for me. And outside of that, Benjamin, oftentimes, we're completely honest, our participants look like you and me. Black men, Black women, people of color are in the system at a very disproportionate rate. Oftentimes, they're impoverished and they're poor. And if we're honest, we know if you're a person of color and if you're poor, you don't get a second chance. And through CEO, I'm able to change that narrative. Myself and my team will be coming in every day, working towards giving individuals another chance, a chance to work, a chance to be successful, overall making themselves better and ultimately making a better community. Even though they make mistakes, we're going to see that. But it's good that we keep coming back and doing the work that we're doing. And again, as I said earlier, one CEO, always CEO. And it's really fulfilling to give individuals that second, third, and fourth chance. Because if we're all honest, we're all one mistake away from being a person coming home from prison or being justice involved ourselves.
Wow, that's a powerful answer. And we've got another question from Parent Avenger, Ms. Sherry Balil. Are you guys actively canvassing within the communities to not just spread word about what you're doing, but to offer these different services to residents of the communities who have family members or friends who have been impacted by the criminal justice system?
I'll take that question. Yeah, definitely. We will be out in the community. You will see those orange and green colors. We're hard to miss. You'll start to see our bands throughout the community as well. But definitely, a lot of resources in Atlanta go completely unused because a lot of people just don't know. You'll be surprised, Benjamin, the resources that are made available to people and they just aren't aware of them. So I personally know, as well as my team, understand the importance of getting out in the community, doing outreach and letting people know exactly what it is that we do and that we're here to serve them. And I'll even make time to go to some churches on some Sundays.
Hey, and that's a perfect segue to this next question, which just so happens to come from Dan Cathy. Do you accept volunteers to help with life skills training?
Yes, we do accept volunteers to come in. We actually invite individuals in as part of our life skills orientation class, especially in areas of financial literacy, community involvement, child support services, things of that nature. We're always looking for partners and looking for community partners that can be a resource to our participants.
Yeah, I think I'll just add that, yes, absolutely. One of the things that when it comes to corporate partners and the opportunity to really build those relationships is right. We're looking to help get our folks prepared, for employment, and so that could take shape in a lot of different ways. Everything from you know helping an organization or company look at their hiring practices and being inclusive on that end to coming in and spending some time with our participants with mock interviewing and things of that nature. So the scope with which we can work with corporations and volunteers is pretty significant. So yes, we'd love to explore that.
Awesome. And final question from Mother Moore. She asks, how in your theory of change do you integrate spiritual grounding? I know you just mentioned stepping into church every once in a while. So how do you guys do that for our religious members of the community?
We are all inclusive organization. So whatever your belief is your belief. And we do not put that down, and we take it very seriously. So within our organization, we partner with religious organizations, like agencies that can provide the resources that CEO does not provide. We recognize that we don't have to do it all well, right? We focus on one area and we help participants to become successfully employed and develop their career pathway. Personally, spirituality is very huge for me, so it comes out in what I do. And CEO actually gives me the freedom and a platform just to be myself. So churches are a very big component in developing people's behavior and in developing, just their overall foundation of themselves.
All right, that's all for our social questions. You guys stay active with us. We'll be sure to get back to you if you have any follow-up questions. Back to you, John.
Yeah, thank you, Benjamin. Great job on the questions there. And we're about at the end of our program, and y'all have been terrific, and learning about your program and coming to Atlanta is so exciting. We know there's a tremendous need. Unfortunately, it's been articulated earlier for the wrong reasons, but at least now I got a program that can address some of those longstanding inequities. So thank you for that. And maybe I'll just real quick and maybe ask you, Patience, for our viewers watching, any final thoughts you want to leave with viewers for folks? I know we'll hopefully hear more from you, but just for any final thoughts for this morning.
Yes, I think so. One, thank you, John, and all the work that you all are doing. We really appreciated the opportunity to come and just talk a little bit about our work. And really excited about launching our 31st office in Atlanta. We're in serving the Metro Atlanta community and the connections that we've been able to make with the organizations that are in the Westside community, as well as those across the city, but really recognizing, the impact and the effort there that's happening in the Westside community. Um, One of the things that I think a year ago when we were approached by Greenlight Fund, which is a venture philanthropy fund about supporting expansion of CEO in Atlanta, we couldn't say no because one, we knew that the need was great. Two, we knew that there were other organizations who were doing complementary work that could really just leverage our resources to really be able to make a huge impact. And so we are just looking forward to getting in, rolling up our sleeves, being a good partner to support, the local reentry and workforce ecosystem that already exists, and really just supporting individuals who are coming home. For us, that's what it's about. Being able to be a place where folks who need that second chance, who are ready to work, have that opportunity to do so. And we believe that regardless of their background. And so for us, we're just ready and excited to get in and dig in our heels and just support what's happening already in Atlanta and to really leverage that and support the folks who are coming home.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you so much this morning. On behalf of the Westside Future Fund, we pledge our full support helping you get connected. One of the things we do is kind of amplify the work of others like we did this morning. You've had some great people watching this morning, Michael, in terms of getting out the word. You heard we had our Parent Avengers and Mother Moore and others who are very wired into the community. So we're happy to kind of connect you to some of those folks to amplify your work. So thank you again for being with us this morning. We look forward to working with you. And as we transition to the end of our program, I was just want to give an update about one of the Westside Future Fund's key programs, our Home on the West Side. And this is our program. We're raising funds, philanthropic funds, and we have other funds, low-cost loan funds we use, but philanthropy is key along with public support to deliver high-quality, affordable housing grounded in community retention. So we have community retention guidelines that prioritize people from the West Side. So if you live in the West Side, grew up on the West Side, graduated from one of the schools on the West Side. So Michael, as a Morehouse graduate, if you're watching through our Home on the West Side program, you would qualify for our community retention guidelines. And one of the things that we're doing is we're standing up single family, and we don't want to sell to anyone that doesn't come up against those community retention guidelines. So I think the slide show you there for a second, our current snapshot of where we are in terms of our development activity. And we're also, yep, there it is, so you can see. The screen's too far away from me, so I can't read it. So hopefully, if you're watching, you can see what we have available right now. What would be, we're bringing online, hopefully close to about 80 units this year between multi and single family. Unfortunately, if we go to the next slide, the demand for high quality affordable housing exceeds the supply. So we have more people already verified for our program than we have supply. And this, I think, if you talk to others in the affordable housing space, this is also true that unfortunately, and this is why Mayor Bottom's commitment on raising money for affordable housing is so important, and especially now with so much job opportunities coming to the West Side, those land prices are going up. So everything we can do to continue to develop high quality affordable housing at just the time you want to keep people in the neighborhoods as they revitalize. So if you want to help us keep residents in their homes and connect to their community, please support Home on the West Side. And I think with that, I'm going to bring up the true star of the show. Ebony and Benjamin are coming back, but I think I'm transitioning to Ebony.
Yes.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Don't
so.
have me coming at the wrong time. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks and I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Yeah.
Close
Would you mind standing up? You want to stay here with me while I do the big giveaway? Drum roll.
You do this so much better than me. I feel like I kind of pull it down.
No way. No way. No way. Okay. Sorry about that. We're just kind of jiving and jibbing here. Okay, so again, it is big time for the Home Depot and Goodwill of North Georgia giveaway. And usually I kind of breeze by this and get to the good part and show tell the winners, but I also just want to remind everyone that Home Depot Foundation is a huge partner on the West Side. They have donated millions and millions of dollars. So I do not want to forget that, I do not want to run over that. And without further ado, the winner of, sorry about that, I'm on the wrong text. The winner of the Home Depot giveaway is, drum roll.
Well, let's clap.
sorry, Miss Erlene Ross. Sorry about that. I got a lot of text here this morning. And also, not to run over Goodwill of North Georgia, they are building a new location on the west side. It's going to be bringing jobs and getting people back to work, which kind of ties into what our theme was today. And so I don't want to run over that either. And the winner of Goodwill of North Georgia giveaway is, another drum roll, Mr. John Turner. I don't either. Mr. John Turner. So again, our big winners today is our Miss Erlene Ross and Mr. John Turner. All right?
All right.
So congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
That's good to hear on a Friday morning, isn't it? Going into the holiday and, yeah, it's a holiday weekend now. Can you believe that? Officially.
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
Today.
officially. So very grateful. Congratulations. And without further ado, we have some entertainment for you today. Entertainment, we have history, we bring it all. So going to toss it to Mr. Ben Early. What you got,
All
Ben?
right, Benjamin.
Appreciate y'all. Great program. Thank you again to the panelists. And it's time now for our Westside Rising Vibe. Westside Rising Vibe is a platform for local creatives to expand their audience, showcase their talent, and network, all while creating a greater sense of community here on the West Side. And today's featured artist is hip-hop extraordinaire.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
Chief. What's good, bro?
What's
How you
going
doing?
on, Benjamin?
All right.
Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming out, man. We appreciate you. So let's just talk about a little bit about your history with hip-hop
Yes, sir.
and the evolution of your career. Like, how did you get started?
I actually got started in the church. I grew up doing a lot of music inside of the church.
Yeah.
The church, the people at my church, my family. I call them my family because, you know, family is created in many different
Right.
ways. My family and my church, they were the first people to get me inside of a studio.
Yeah.
And I just grew up from just pretty much creating my music, from telling my story, what I've gone through, my trials and tribulations, and trying to motivate others from what I've been through.
Right.
And that's what my start was. Once I started seeing people really paying attention to what I was saying, I just never stopped.
Hey, look, when you got the voice, man, the people will let you know it. So we appreciate you, man. What you got going on now? You got some new releases, new music.
Yes,
What can
sir.
folks look forward to?
Currently, I have my project out right now. It's called 3 for 3. And I also have my merch out. I have all my merch out. I have everything can be on ischiefworld.com. I'm also an advocate for epilepsy and seizure awareness. Most people may, some people don't know, but I actually deal with seizures myself. I've been dealing with seizures since 2012 after my father had passed. And it's been up and down, but I used to be real closed and I didn't want to be open about it. And just recently I started opening up more about it. I started sharing more of my experiences, what I went through, you know, just from the worst to the best of it. And a lot of people have been contacting me and thanking me for sharing my story. And that's actually made me feel better because I didn't realize that I can actually motivate and help other people who are going through the same thing
Right.
I'm going through right now.
Right. And you know, that's the power of having a platform and actually using it, you know, for a purpose. You never know who you're going to touch.
Yes, sir.
And you know, just speaking as another brother to another brother on Juneteenth weekend of all times,
Yes, sir.
right? You know, it's important for us to be able to have these types of conversations. Like, there is a lot of stigma in our community as far as men reaching out for help when it comes to health, especially when it comes
Agreed.
to mental health. So to have the bravery to go ahead and share your story, I commend you for that, brother. I do, and I appreciate you. But look, right now, man, it's time for the music, bro. We done
know
talked
it, man.
enough. We got to show the people what you came here to
You
do,
know it,
big
man.
dog. Let's do
I
it.
love it, man. I'm glad to be here. Good
All
morning.
right. Take it away, man.
Let's go. Let's go. It's Chief. It's Chief. Yeah. It's Chief. It's Chief. Hey, hey. Going up when I'm in your town. Young jock, yeah, it's going down. Full circle when I come around. You a square, can't be around. They don't want to see me be great, so their best bet is to look away. Plus, I'm taking what I want and everything that they took away. Georgetown, I'm a big dog. Got them mad, got them ticked off. You a knockoff like a rip-off. Hard work, cause it pays off. Work hard, I'm my own boss. Make them jump like crisscross. Yeah, I'm lit like hot sauce. Crossover with the walk-off. Step over, make it pop off. Game tight, knock
your socks off. Got them wishing I would fall off. Here's a tip, you can hop off. See, I'ma be one of the greats, and you gon' be one of the fakes, and you be the one that'll hate. Be the ones that be all in your face, like, look at me, I'm the one who they wanna be. At the top, now they under me. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the answer, that's no question. Never crack another, no pressure. Self-made, that's no flexing. Pay attention, learn your lesson, yeah. Look at me, OG, not a Ricky B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be. Yeah. Look at me, OG, not a rookie B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be. Yeah. Look at me, I'm the one who they wanna be. Hey. Look at me, I'm the one who they wanna be. Hey. Look at me, OG, not a rookie B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be. Yeah. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap. Georgetown, I'm a big dog. Got them mad, got them ticked off. You a knockoff like a rip-off. Hard work, cause it pays off. Work hard, I'm my own boss. Make them jump like crisscross. Yeah, I'm lit like hot sauce. Crossover with the walk-off. Step over, make it pop off. Game tight, knock your socks off. Got them wishing I would fall off. Here's a tip, you can hop off. See, I'ma be one of the greats, and you gon' be one of the fakes, and you'll be the one that'll hate. Be the ones that be all in your face. Like, look at me, hit the 3. Who they wanna be at the top, now they under me. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the answer, that's no question. Never crack another, no pressure. Self-made, that's no flexing. Pay attention, learn your lesson, yeah. Look at me, OG, not a Ricky B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be, yeah. Look at me, OG, not a Ricky B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be, yeah. Look at me, I'm the one who they wanna be, yeah. Look at me, I'm the one who they wanna be, yeah. Look at me, OG, not a rookie B. Ball hard like I'm number 3. I'm the one who they wanna be, yeah. Georgetown, I'm a big dog. Got them mad, got them ticked off. You a knockoff like a rip-off.